Okay, welcome back. This is day 17 of my journey towards lucid dreaming. Again, if you're new here, I'm just returning to my lucid dreaming practice and sharing that whole process and journey with you right here. My dream recall was pretty good last night. Not the best it's ever been, but at least within this particular lucid dreaming series that I created. So I thought I'd share some of my journal entries. Again, dreams can be kind of strange and bizarre and kind of fun to share, so I thought I'd do that. The first entry tends to always be the shortest. There's usually not a lot of details that I recall. Again, I tend to just be a light sleeper, just kind of waking up randomly throughout the night and early morning. But yeah, the first entry is usually the shortest. In this case, it just says, someone walking around a square-shaped building naked. And that's it. Not much to it. This next one here, it says, guy was going to attack someone's family member, I think, and he was roller skating towards a large moving object which looked like a big horse, and then got real close to a different moving structure that looked like just a small room or house on wheels, and finally entered that small room on wheels and got beat up there. Okay. So in my waking reality, there's no violence occurring, but like I mentioned in some of the previous episodes, I'm watching Sons of Anarchy. And so if you've seen that or know what that's about, it's about, a biker club, and there's a lot of violence in it. So I think kind of what we consume as far as entertainment can kind of bleed into our dream space. And I think that's probably what that was. It wouldn't surprise me. Another one here, it says, in the airport, it seemed. And I asked about where things are and need to be, and others went to get them. I could tell this person that I was standing around and kind of interacting with was a little nervous around me. I then helped someone with a box. And that's it. And that's kind of interesting because, just being next to a dream character and while I'm communicating with them, kind of getting a sense of how they're feeling in that moment, around me. Which is kind of no different in kind of like your waking state, whether you're around one person or a group, and you're kind of getting a vibe of them. So just thought that was kind of interesting. This next one's kind of funny. It says, an ex-couple was talking in a room, and I sensed I was not human, almost like Jar Jar Binks from Star Wars. This is kind of odd because I can't really recall any dreams I've had in the past where I'm not, where I'm something other than, human, right? So that was kind of different, but I asked if I should go because I was kind of sensing, this is going to get weird. This seemed like this ex-couple needed to talk things out, and just felt weird for me to be there. And I asked, should I leave? Should I go? And the guy said yes, right away, but the woman said no. And then I tried leaping into the wall. Not really sure why I tried doing that, but nothing happened. And it made the woman in the dream laugh. And that was it. So that was kind of amusing. This next one is where I have the most, it's a bigger paragraph, more details in this dream scene. And it says, my job, which that doesn't sound like a good way to start things off in a dream, working in your dream. That's but it says, my job was letting people in and checking their documents. I recall one person who wanted me to check his ID, but that's just not something that it was a part of protocol. It's something we didn't need to do, and it seemed to disappoint him. So I thought that was interesting. I opened the door for one person, and it was a janitor, and I didn't quite understand him. I don't know if there was no communication or I just wasn't understanding what was going on, but I just remember opening the door and there's a janitor, and it was kind of strange. So I ended up that was that basically. And then there was another lady who brought me a big poster for her documentation, and I thought it was interesting, but it didn't seem like the proper documentation to gain entry. So I said, hey, we need to go to the main desk where there's a girl there and kind of sort this all out. And actually, once I remembered that part of the dream, I remembered, actually the very beginning of how this dream started was actually in this front desk with this girl. I remember having some sort of conversation with her. And that's it. And so in the past few years, I don't do it anymore, but I was in the security field. So this is kind of interesting that, it starts here. The first sentence here is, my job was letting people in and checking their documents. So that's kind of interesting. The last one is very short. It says, I had a dream about forgetting my wife's birthday and feeling surprised and terrible about it. It hasn't happened, but maybe I have some sort of subconscious fear of forgetting, I guess. I mentioned in the last video, kind of why I was, with the meditative work that I was doing, why I was focusing so much on the center of head and talking about these transitional states, kind of in and out of sleep. But when I was, I guess in the early morning, I saw that hypnopompic imagery, and I guess I was trying to slow it down or stop it on certain frames or parts of this kind of sequence of images, and I didn't really seem to have control over it, but eventually I actually did stop at the very end. And I remember it was kind of this like abstract blue image, and it kind of just stayed on that for a moment, and then it kind of faded and left, and then I fully kind of woke up, and that's it. So, and that's kind of what I'm looking for. I'm looking to prolong those, especially the hypnopompic state, where I can use it to kind of just launch into a dream consciously right from there, or roll out of body, or just kind of just sit there and see how long I can sustain this kind of watching moving images kind of go in and out. But yeah, that's what I got for you today, and see what happens tomorrow.